Good morning, hope you're having an awesome day. In this video, it's not going to be a tutorial, but I'm going to show you the process of working through the future typography course. So I've just been finishing it up, and in it there's a typography study where each week you do like a new layout, and it's supplied all by Christo by the future. So I'm just going to be working through 10 layouts, and hopefully the video doesn't go too long. But it's really going to be, quick and rough, and just going to be showing you my thinking process. Hopefully it might be interesting to you. But the first week is going to be one weight and 1 point size. So you can see here's the parameters. I have to use Helvetica. I can only use black and white only, and I can use tints and transparency. And the cool thing is, in this 7-week self-study, each week you add like another parameter where you add it, and the last week is like experimental, which is pretty cool. So I really want to challenge myself and grow my typography skills. So you have to take action on this. So he supplied a template, then I just duplicated all the text that I need for the layouts, and then my grids are on as well. So you can see these grids that I just copied, and I can always just edit the grids if I want. So that's totally cool. But yeah, let's get stuck into it. So this is all the information I have to work with. Resonate is sort of the title of the journal. This is like the subheader. Then we've got the date here. And then in this issue is like, what's the content? And then the features are all the artists or designers here that will be featured. So it's a hypothetical content. It's not like actually like a real thing, or maybe it is, but I don't know. But yeah, so we can experiment and play around, and I'm just gonna see what ideas I can come up with. So I'm in Illustrator right now, and I'm just gonna be using black and white, and let's get stuck into it. So I'm going to take out the text, the resonate text. I might actually just duplicate one right there, and I'm going to use one weight. So I've got Helvetica LTSTD here, so I can only be able to use this one. So we've got plenty of different styles. I've got like condensed, Roman, bold, black, light. For this one, I might just stick with bold, because we have to stick with one weight, 1 point size. So it's gonna be challenging to do this, but yeah, we'll see what we can create. So I'm gonna probably maybe bump it lower, put it on 10, put my grid up, and yeah, I'll just start to play around. Let's see what I can create here. So I'm gonna use the eyedropper, select this. And it's not going to be bold every time. I can always like change it up or do whatever here. So I'll use bold for this one. I can't use any shapes, so I just purely have to like use text. For this one, I'm putting this stuff at the top, because I feel like that's the most important information. And I can break the grids, but we want some repetition. And I'm gonna keep this. Typically I like to align things with, I just use my eye. I don't want to spend too much time on like making grid lines and stuff. I can like, if I turn my rulers on, I can come and like drag a grid like this, and then you like line it up. But it doesn't have to be perfect. I can just use my eye, and because I've been trained and practiced so much that I can do that. And then I'll bring this one into the bottom lower third like this, and see how this is looking. So it looks interesting. There's a lot of white space in the middle here. This is aligned, it's all connected, so maybe I feel like this feels a bit disconnected. So either I'm going to align it actually maybe to this side, aligning it in this part. I think there's an extra space there for some reason. And then I'll justify to the right, drag left, and so you can see here there's some repetition. So these all connect, and then this comes down and connects to this. I'm not sure if this feels a bit awkward because it's got this in the issue part. I feel like this should be like this. So that main text is aligned with that, and then the in the issue bit can stick out a bit. So that might be funny. And then I can play around with the tints. So I like to have, I'll just bring my color palette up to you. So this is all for practice, guys. It's not for a client or anything. Is this the right one? Just be, I'll do tint. Just like this. Wait, this is wrong. I'm just gonna delete this. I'm just gonna make this a spot color, RGB. So now I've made it a spot color, so I got tints now. I don't know why it's very gray though, for some reason. So I turn grayscale on, so you can select the drop down menu and click grayscale, so then I can just change the tint, so you can see there. So I feel like it's a bit weird when it's on an angle. Cool, probably drop that 60%. And I'll just move this out of the way. Cool, so I kind of like that, it seems interesting. So now I'm gonna jump on to the next one. This one, let's go like really small. So maybe I'll go 8 points. Play around with this. So I feel like these are grouped together, and then could do like a very basic layout. Maybe I could even just leave this here. For this one, I'm gonna stick with like light. I might bump the tracking a little bit. Yeah, bump the tracking just 1 point. You can hold Alt and the right arrow key, which bumps that up. So turn my guides off. So I could keep it like very simple like this, put it in the corner, dropped the point size. And what I can do actually, features. Maybe I can even get rid of the semicolons, or do I have to? I don't know if I have to use those. In this issue, resonate, leave it. No, we want to separate that because this is the masthead, the title. This is like the subhead. And actually, I'm going to move the date out of there. So if I just bring a ruler like this, line it, just holding shift and dragging it up. So we can line it right to the top there. And then I can do like Jan, Feb. I'll just cut it short because I feel like it's taking too much of that white space in the corner. Like that. There's a lot of white space down here, but I guess it's all right. We'll just move on to the next one. Just gonna double check. 1 weight, 1 point size. Let's go for something bigger, and we'll go bold, black. No, actually I might just stick with Roman, which is like regular, but the issue is everything might not fit though. When there's so many constraints, you have to really think about the space you're in, especially a small space. It's gonna be too big. I'm gonna have to drop it down. So obviously I don't have to use the grids. I can break out of the grids, but I'm gonna make this one more narrow. So I've got the date here. Feels really big. I can go like 01, 02, 18, maybe something like that. Yeah, I think if I have to put it up the top because it's sort of relevant. Features. Put all, whoa, wrong color. Grayscale, 40%. What if resonates 40% as well? It's the masthead though. So adding that transparency sort of breaks that up. Oh, these are all the same. Yeah, it's all 16. So adding the transparency breaks up that space a little bit. I'm gonna fix this because that feels off like this. I feel like I need to do something with this. See what this looks like. Just playing around with the grayscale here, tint. So it just breaks up the space in between, just makes it visually more interesting. And you can even like highlight important names. So like obviously Paul Rand, Saul Bass, they're big names. You know, Joseph Brockman. So it just adds a bit of. Even I could do it on this one. So 40%, 40%. Oh, it should just automatically be. Select this and select the spot color. There we go. Just makes it easier so I can do the grayscale. So cool. I've done these couple layouts. This one. Interesting. Okay, cool. So what about? You're very limited when it comes to like just a 1 point size, one weight, like, to make it very visually interesting. What if I just like centered it? But then that's like very boring. What if we put it in this corner here? Let's use some of these guides we have. Maybe just JF, maybe we'd put it like that. I don't want to cut it off. Only like just slightly bleeding it out. So now if I put general graphic design here, and then I'm going to align it to this. So if you hold shift, select it, and then you go to the top right corner, you see your align tools. So I can align this bottom to this one. So if I click the left bar now, make sure the selection is on selection or key object, and it should work. So you can see there, I click it and then it aligns it to the top part there. So we could probably like bring this up. Maybe have the I don't know what happened there. So what I'm gonna do actually is to make it interesting. I can get those like subheadings, align it on that left line. So I get in the issue, the masthead, and then roughly align it. So then I'd have to bump it because it's a bit long because the sizing. But maybe I'm gonna change the sizing. Light condense. Maybe we'll go. I think we'll go bold again. Drop it down. But if I do make it really small, then it's gonna be. And it feels like this is floating over here. So what I could do, maybe bring the date up there. So it's like sort of feels like all these equal spaces. So it's connected to this line. You see how this is connected. We've got this line, this line. See that? So it's repetition. Makes it a lot more effective. Cool, so I'm happy with that one. Interesting. Okay, let's play around. What about black? What about black at like 60%? So what I want to do for this one, I want to try and add some interesting angles. I might go for that cutoff effect again because it just makes it more interesting. I'm also going to bump the leading up. This feels a bit too tight. Thinking of going like this. Maybe I won't cut it off. Features, and then I'll go resonate. Keep that aligned with that. So we've got the heading, the masthead, and I'll probably keep everything aligned with this grid line on the side. So I'm just flipping everything. Just bump it down so it sort of aligns with this. Just using my eye there. I can always, grab a guide and suss it out. So you can see I grabbed a guide. See, it's pretty close there. And the way I'm turning my guides off is Control semicolon. And if I want to unlock it, I can go Control Alt semicolon, then select the guide and delete it in case I don't want it anymore. So yeah, this was a black 12 points. What if I bumped it up a little bit more? Bring this down a little bit. Maybe bring this down. So this is kind of interesting. It'd be cool if this was like heaps big and like that. But for week one, we gotta stick with the the rules. So this one, I might bring the character point up here. Okay, what do we got? Light condensed, ultra condensed, light oblique, compressed. We'll go light compressed, I guess. Dun, 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 dun. What if we... yeah, let's center it. Why not? We'll center it. I'm just aligning to the center of the page. Journal of Graphic Design. What if I go like a 2-column? Trying to think. The title should be somewhere at the top. Features. If I just create some space. Make it smaller. And I'll do white condensed. I might just do normal condensed like this. So you can see it's not looking that interesting. But you know, the main thing is to just play around with different layouts, see what we create. It already looks more interesting than the standard. Like this is the standard, right? But all I did was added some leading, bumped the tracking a bit, spaced out some of the stuff, and it already looks, I think it looks better than just, it's just plain text right there. So I guess I'll just leave that. But I don't like how this is spaced here. Unless I do it like this. It's getting very long. I'll bump the leading back down. Let me close. Once again, I'm gonna bump the opacity down. Only slightly. I might go 80%. January, February. 2018. This might not make sense actually. Jan plus Feb. Just mixing it up. Okay, cool. And I guess maybe I want to just highlight Saul Bass. So I'll drop the opacity here and leave that 100%. So just simply using transparency, you're already getting some interesting layouts and compositions. Okay, let's just do something crazy. We've still got nice white space in this area here. 16 point. And what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Oh man. So the video is already at 25 minutes. So I'm gonna quickly just finish these last ones off and yeah, see what we can do. So what can we do? Resonate. Maybe if I just do like everything, the bold is very strong in this font. So what if I just do everything gray, and then okay. Man, working with big ones is like, it's very tricky. Like if I make everything small, then it's alright. Like that layout looks alright. No, I don't like it. I'm just gonna do it very small. I just don't think the bold looks good at this small size though. I'm gonna go play with I'll play with the Roman again. And obviously you can do, you know, layouts and text in InDesign. InDesign is great as well. But I guess for this assignment, it's just in Illustrator, which is totally cool. I like using this as an anchor. I might just, whoa, what's happening? Grid's messing up. I'll put it like this. I'll put the titles over here, right under the date. So what I'm doing, I'm holding Alt and Shift to duplicate really quickly going down. And then as I do that, I double click and select the text, or you can press T for the type tool and then quickly press Control A to select all the type. That's another way as well. You can do this, but however, in this, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to offset this a bit. So, wait, I got to go a bit further. Because I want this to align. I want sort of these like titles to align like this. And then what if I do rag right? Let's get rid of these semicolons. Is it the same size? Yeah. So I'm just making sure it's aligned. I think I made a mistake. Open and close. Oh wait. Yeah, so these should be down like that. Cool. Yeah, so it has a nice flow to it. But obviously, I'm gonna have to. This stuff is not connected yet, so I gotta. You want to try and keep things connected in some way by connecting them on the same like grid line or within a nice area or shape. And then so I can either align it to this, so it's like repetition. So we can see like there's this line going down. Excuse the straightness, so you've got this line like this. As you can see. This one, the title feels like it's floating though, like. So either what I can do, I could either drop this down and align these all like this on the side, or I can align this as well, like that. So we've got the date there and it connects with these titles. The only thing, this might not be readable that this is together. You know, it feels a bit weird unless, you know, I bring this closer and make it like joint, but then I feel like it needs that space to breathe. So yeah, just the issue is this thing here, but I like the layout though. It's kind of good. So I'll just leave it. Let's play with this. Let's just play with the standard. Let's align. Let's do the opposite side. Bump that up. I'll bump the leading. Tracking. Once again, holding Alt, tapping the arrow keys. Just aligning that as well. I might just leave. What if I do it like... So I have the date on the left-hand side. Maybe I'll pull this off the wall. Maybe I have the main issues on this side. So delete that. I'll drop it down, go 10 points. Shortcut to do that, Control Shift and press the comma or the full stop. That's how I quickly shift those. I'll select that, hold Alt Shift, drop it down, select that with the type tool. And yeah, so I'm just gonna align stuff and delete it from the box. So I make typically I just copy paste, Control C, Control V, and then I can individually select these objects that I want. And then once again, go to selection in the corner and then align it. So now you can see it's completely aligned. I'll do the same for this as well. Now make sure that it's it's justified right. And I think that's all there. What if I stacked it like this, January, February? I don't know if I need this little slash. I'm not sure if it's correct punctuation, but I don't know, I would rather take it out, but yeah, I don't know. In this issue, I'm just gonna increase the space there, or I could alternatively just tighten all this up, make it really tight. But you don't want to have too much white space. I'm trying to make it a bit balanced. So I guess I'll do like this, and this issue, I think that's cool. I think it's clear. Maybe I should bring these more out a bit. But then you see it feels like it's not connected now because it's too far on this side and this is like here. So when we bring it in a bit, it feels like you got this, right? This block. So this needs the line there. So this one needs fixing. Yeah, this is not aligned, this one. So I don't know why. I think it's 2 lines down. That's why it's. Oh, there we go. The leading was messed up. Okay, now that's. Okay, you see here, I'm going to show you something. So according to Illustrator, the boxes, you can see how it looks aligned, but if I drag it across, look at this. So you can see how it's not aligned, and because this is all caps as well, it's taller. So what I have to do, I have to customize and drag that, right? Drag it, line it as much as possible, and then drag it back like this. So now it looks visually aligned, as you can see, and it's fine. Look, it's on the baseline there, which is fine. It's just the all caps look a bit bigger, which is fine. Cool, I like that one. Couple more to go. I'm going to let's try and do a big one again. I'm gonna go for a vertical one again, just like playing around with that. You know, this is just a practice, so you don't have to worry about going too crazy with stuff. So this is aligned like that. It feels weird with the date like that. So what I can do is leave that. The date is not crazy important, so what if I go down, bring this down, put 2018 down the bottom here, keep it aligned, as you can see. So I'm starting to break things up. The hard thing is going to be putting like all these ones here, because it's very big. It's very, very, very big. Oh man, it's a bit tricky. So I'm gonna have to drop the weight. It's just not gonna fit. It's just not going to fit, boys. Okay, so we have some things happening. Something's happening. This list is still, I think it just fits, but just feels little. I'm gonna have to go 22, 1 point. Like that. And I wanna see if I can put this in 2 rows, 2 columns. So I can leave the issue, which is like the subtitle. Make sure to save the work. So I'll put features and then I'll take half the list. Make sure. Take one more to make it even. Don't want to make everything unbalanced. Wait, I think that one should be up the top. Yep, should be at the top. This one, here we go. Okay, cool, interesting. This feels weird because it's not connected. So yeah, you can see this line here. These are not really connecting with anything. So I have to because it feels funny connecting, so I'll connect it to this line here because it feels more stable here instead of being connecting to the rag there. What I could do, I could probably shift it as well, but it might not fit. Drop this down a bit. I'll connect the 2018 to this part. And having this in the middle, I feel like it should be connected to this. I'll make these gray. So I'll go 50%. So it's a bit too distracting because you got like a big black block here and then here. So if it's all black, it feels like it's constraining the space. This one. Maybe I should connect it with this. So align it with that. This is aligned with this one. The January and February, it is very long, so I might actually Jan-Feb. Make it shorter, just so it's not awkward, and maybe I can line that one. Yeah, that feels better. Yeah, cool. I'm happy with that. That looks nice. Cool. One more. Let's play around. 9 point. I typically like 8 or 9 points. It feels nice. If it's a report, yeah, people typically go for like 9, between 9 and 11 typically, if it's like body text and stuff. Do 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 do. I might just keep this one very simple. Bring this down into the lower third. Oh, what happened? It didn't work. Just make sure I have all the names. And there's a space there, so sometimes you gotta see these spaces. A cool trick is if you go to type and go to show hidden characters, you can see all the hidden characters now, like where all the paragraphs are. So you can see the paragraphs, and yeah, it just makes it easier. So if you think it's broken, it's not. It's just shortcut key is Control-Alt-I if you're on a PC. So I'll just do this. I put it all within like a square, a box. Oh, just like this. Maybe just keep at the bottom. Very minimal piece I'm going for here. So like I'm utilizing mainly this the lower third. So you can see I'm using this and then keeping it the rest white. It's typically a good rule. It's like focus 2/3, like in negative space is fine, and if you can focus on one. That's one way of doing it. But I might push it actually more to this part, like this. Yeah, cool, that's good. So let's see where we came from. I don't know why this tool is on. Okay. Now let's review where we at. So 1 weight, 1 point size. You can use tints, and yeah. So this one more of a bold. Mix it up. Try to be a bit playful with how it's laid out. A lot of white space in the middle there. Kind of cool. This one is very minimal. I feel like this should be pushed more to the left here. I feel like maybe it's a bit too in. And maybe I could have put this down here at the bottom. Put it like down here. Like it does have a connection with this like that, which is alright. It just feels it's like it's floating though. So maybe I could have put it here or here, the date. So it separates it. This one, I like this one. So this connects like this. And then it's hitting those parts. And I liked how I use the transparency, really useful. This one doesn't work that well. This alignment is really good though. It's just the cutting off the text. When it's so small and you zoom out, you can see it doesn't really look good. Like you can't tell. It's really good for if it's bold and big and use numbers and stuff. That's probably the best way to cut it off. But when it's small, I don't think it's a good choice I made for that one. This one, bold's very strong. Makes it a little hard. It's a bit hard to read. Should have added more leading, more spacing. So just to spread it out this way. I think this works well here. It connects. That's good. This one is condensed. Very minimal. I probably should have played around more, but like maybe put this up the front like here and space everything a bit more out. But I did just go for the centered look. Sort of, it's like a movie poster or something similar. This one's kind of good. I probably should have highlighted important words here, like in black, like the top speakers, and maybe highlighted this. Because I feel like there's no focal point, right? So maybe if I went highlighted this, maybe I highlighted the first like 5 speakers or something. Maybe the first top half. So it's like even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think it's... Oh, that's alright, I just do 6. Yeah, that feels a bit better. So it's like your eye will read here, go here, and then it will come down here. So left to right, and then left. That works well. This one, kind of like this one. simple, occupying this whole space here. So it's like almost like half the page taken up. And I think I actually like the size that I picked here, works really well. This one was really playful. I kind of like it. I like how this is here. It's just this, I think this being like everything being this way, maybe I should have put this one like that, but it might not have fit if I flipped it. So it feels a little awkward, but definitely it makes it interesting. And then the last one, this one's sort of rough. I probably could have spaced some of the titles out. So maybe like this. And then brought the features up. Like this, something like that, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it would have been a bit better, but yeah, nothing too interesting. You can clearly see that there's not really a focal point, but everything's in the corner here. I think maybe there's too much white space, because even here in the corner, I feel like maybe something should be here, like an element or something, maybe like a line, or yeah. So cool. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully it was helpful. I'm aiming to do the full 7-week study. If I have the time. I don't know if you guys want to watch it. It might be a bit boring, maybe not, I don't know. So let me know in the comments below. Hit subscribe as well, and also share the video if you find it useful. And I think it's really good to practice your typography for layouts. You know, it's good because layout is used in everything. It's not just like visual reports, infographics, and you know, flyers and brochures, stuff like that, like physical print stuff. It's like for web UI, you know, you think of like so many different ways you use layout and text. Like it's used on pretty much every marketing material, and even ads and billboards and all that stuff. So I think it's really important to practice and see what we create. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you in the next one.